When did you first become aware of the casual scene?
I'd say once you leave school. School was a very free and easy time to get your school uniform, and when I was at school, the new wave and the punk thing was still going on. So it was kind of Doc Martens and asking your mum to sew your school trousers up so they became drain pipes. Yeah. And, you know, messing up your school uniform so you looked a bit like one of the Boomtown Rats. But when you leave school and you go in the match regularly, that's when I became aware of it. I guess coming from where I come from, it's an instinct. I don't really have to think about it. Like, what am I going to wear? My style, it's not changed that much. I could have wore this in the 90s, I think. Wouldn't have looked that out of place. I was born in Longsight, and then we moved to Burnage, but there's an area in between Burnage and Longsight called Levenshulme, and it's kind of a halfway house, and it's where a few of my aunties and uncles lived. So we used to hang around with more of the lads from Levenshulme, and we were all City fans, and we always go to match together. So I spent most of my time traipsing up and down Stockport Road, and the casuals thing started to happen around the mid-80s, and it was exclusively around the area of the northwest, between Liverpool and Manchester. And it still seems to be like that Liverpool lads and Mancunian lads still have a similar kind of way that we dress, or did then and still do now, I think. And Dole culture's got a lot to do with that. But you know, like your cultural icons then, of course, the Manchester thing hadn't happened then, the Mondays and the Roses and all that. So the Manchester icons would have been Morrissey and New Order, and they were hardly casuals. And over in Liverpool was Echo and the Bunnymen and Frankie Goes to Hollywood, and they weren't either. It was not something that, you know, you went to bed one night and got up and everybody was wearing, you know, Kappa cagoules. It's kind of a thing that just crept in, do you know what I mean?
Back then, I'm assuming like you didn't have a lot of money to buy clothes. Where were you shopping? Where were you getting your clothes from? Because a lot of the stuff that I was getting when I was growing up was second hand. I was borrowing clothes. You couldn't afford the things that you wanted.
Manchester had some great little shops. There was a sports shop in Manchester called Hurley's, which had all the gear in. It's like, you know, the Alessi gear, the Zucchini and all that. And you would go in there and be like, oh, you know. And then there was, in the underground market, there was a place called Oasis. They didn't have a lot of stock, it was just choice bits, you know, great Adidas trainers and amazing tracksuit tops. But we used to get most of our stuff from the Army and Navy stores, which used to get kind of, you know, dead stock Levi's and Levi's shirts, high-tech trainers, and Dunlop Green Flash.
Silver Shadows?
What they call Wimbledon, I don't know what they call. They were white and green anyway.
Oh, the high-tech ones, yeah, okay, I know what you mean. And, like the like squashy sort of ones, weren't they? Yeah.
And the Dunlop Green Flash and the Blue Flash.
Oh,
remember those?
I'm not familiar with the Blue Flash.
Well, the Blue Flash, obviously the Green Flash had a green flash on them, and the Blue Flash had a sky blue flash on them.
There you go,
some might say the superior shoe, but I don't really have to speak to Gary Aston about that. Obviously, we were all on the dole, so the Army and Navy stores was quite cheap, you know, and you just see buckets and bins. I remember one summer they got a stock load of these yellow and brown checked short sleeve Levi's shirts and a load of brown Wrangler flares, and fucking everybody in Manchester had them, and I mean everyone. I remember going with City away to Oldham, half an hour up the road, and these Oldham supporters being like, what y'all wearing flares for? Like, as if we come from another planet. We're only like 2 minutes up the road. So there's a lot of Army and Navy stores, and that's where the Parker thing came from, because you could get them in the Army and Navy stores. And it's you don't see them anymore, Army and Navy shops anywhere really. They're kind of shut down, aren't they? Well, there was a place in the Arndale market as well that Phil Sachs used to run, which had the Lee cords and all that. I'm not sure what the stall was called, but you'd see the Happy Mondays there. You wouldn't know you didn't know they were Happy Mondays until a few years later, and you go, sure, that's all right, we stand around that shop. So there was a few places, and they were selling dead stock, end of line shit that nobody was buying from the 70s. I thought,